Stocks up big for the day, both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 tech stocks, and we see bonds and gold down. You're listening to chartingwealth.com's daily review for the new month, the first day of the month, November the 1st, Thursday. Let's jump into these charts. A lot of exciting things going on. S&P 500 on the weekly chart, we see that it is up for the day 1.09%. Did that change where the chart is currently going as far as the weekly candles go? Nope. We still have a red down candle. Price movement is still down. We see the price percent oscillator losing some of its downward momentum. Derivative oscillator still strongly down. Now we go from the weekly to the 2-day. What do we see there? We see it pairing off somewhat after many down candles. We had a 2-day candle, if you'll remember, back on the 17th, where the market slowed its descent. Well, it has slowed its descent at this point. Price movement still below the 2-day trend line, still below the weekly trend line. Derivative oscillator lost quite a bit of downward momentum, and the price percent oscillator not quite gone flat, but it has lost some of its momentum. But again, things still decidedly down. Now we go from the 2-day to the 4-hour. This is what we told you to watch carefully for. Remember what we had happen yesterday. We saw the S&P 500 trying to cross over at the end of the day going up. Gave you that warning to watch out for that. And of course it did jack up in the morning and further up movement in the afternoon. Finished the day pushing just through the 2-day trend line on the 4-hour chart. That's sending off a lot of warning bells. Now this market is up, it's down. It's still decidedly down on those bigger charts. So again, told you not to lose what you had made as the market had rocketed down. That's why we draw trend lines. That's why we pay attention to not only the big chart, the weekly chart, but also the 2-day and then the 4-hour. So you don't hesitate to pull out when that 4-hour chart starts to roll over on you. Take your profit and then wait and see if it's going to roll back over going down. Again, it may very well do that. Remember, the trend is your friend until the end, and you don't want to be there at the end. It doesn't look like it's an end right now, but we'll continue to keep our eye on things. But it looks like the market is still trundling down. And remember the time of year we're in. It is the fall-winter trading zone, which tends to be the time of year where things play out for a while. Now, this down movement's been playing out for 4 weeks. Don't know that it's over yet. We'll continue to monitor the market and see what's going on QQQ, the NASDAQ 100, the tech stocks. Again, still a strong down week as far as the price percent oscillator, derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum. We do have quite a long tail or wick on that red candle. It has gotten shorter, but it's still a solid red down candle. Price movement still below the 2-day and the weekly. In fact, we need to make sure our weekly is in the right spot. And we go from the weekly to the 2-day. And of course, what do we see there? We see, again, price movement below the 2-day trend line. We do have a green up candle. Again, not an open box green up candle, but a solid green up candle. We see the price percent oscillator flattening, not quite flat, still heading down. Derivative oscillator losing downward momentum. What do we see on that 4-hour chart? Rocketed up and through in the afternoon, in the morning, and then up a little further in the afternoon, stopping below that 2-day trend line. So again, keep your eye on things. Don't want to lose what you have earned, but at the same time, you want to be cognizant that things have confirmed crossing through on that, still below the 2-day, and still plenty of time for the market to reverse and head down again. So keep your eye on things. It is a fast and frenzied market, and we will continue to watch and see what we see. Remember, things still decidedly down, particularly on our biggest chart, the weekly. Okay, now we go back to the weekly chart and we go to 20-year bonds down 0.50% for the day. Now the bonds are still in a confirmed down move on that weekly chart, been sliding sideways, but we see that the way this latest candle is trying to form, at least on the weekly chart, is a red spinning top, means indecision tending down. It has pushed through, but then come back down through the weekly trend line. We go and we see the derivative oscillators losing downward momentum, price percent oscillator still heading down. We go to the 2-day chart. What do we see there? Well, we saw it tracking sideways and up somewhat over the prior 3 candles. And then this latest candle, what we see happening there is really bouncing off the weekly trend line and moving down. We see the derivative oscillator still gaining momentum. Price percent oscillator is about flat. And so we don't have a trade since the 2 days going in one position and the weekly in another, not even looking for a trade yet on that 4-hour chart, but it has crossed over going down. Now maybe that's going to be enough momentum to bring that 2-day chart over going in the same direction as the weekly and might open some possibilities. Probably not going to happen before the week is out, but we'll continue to keep our eye on things. Lastly, as always, we go to gold, down 0.57% for the day. Now, gold prior 3 weeks had been up. So far, over the course of this week, a red spinning top means indecision tending down. Lots and lots of indecision. Pushed through the weekly trend line, which is important. And we see the derivative oscillator continuing to gain upward momentum. Price percent oscillator flattening out somewhat. We go to that 2-day chart. What do we see? Well, it dumped through after the candle ending on Monday the 29th. This latest 2-day candle dumped through the 2-day trend line and pushed through the weekly. Pretty big deal. Derivative oscillator losing momentum. Price percent oscillator heading down. Hasn't crossed yet. We go to the 4-hour chart. What do we see going on there? Well, we see that 4-hour chart. It bounced off the red signal line back on the afternoon of Friday the 26th. And has been heading down pretty markedly since, way down in the morning on Wednesday, recovered some in the afternoon. So again, don't have anything in gold at this point in time, but we will continue to see what we see. And if indeed gold before that 2-day trend line crosses over, or the 2-day price percent oscillator crosses over going down, if it rotates back over, if it's found a bottom somewhere around 115, rotates back over going up, it might give us a good jumping in point for an uptick in gold. We shall wait and see. My friends, it's exciting. Hope that you are practicing this and learning from it every single day, filling out those daily market worksheets, every day weekly market worksheet once a week, and particularly that trade worksheet. All of those are available for free for you in the show notes. And I have a great announcement we're happy with. We've just opened a Patreon page. As you know, we really don't, we don't sell lessons. We do have a book that we sell, and we appreciate all of you who've purchased that. But you do have the ability, if you appreciate the work that we do here and you would like to support us, we would sure appreciate your patronage and support. Patreon, there's a link in the show notes where you can go to Patreon and support us. We have 3 different tiers of support and all sorts of special things for you if you do support us. Special secret stuff that nobody gets otherwise. And we are happy to share those things with you. So follow that link, go to our Patreon page, and we so appreciate all of your help and support. A number of you have given us support even without a Patreon page. Well, now we have one. And if you would like to patronize us and thank us, we got a lot of cool things to thank you back, including a monthly Q&A session where we will analyze the stocks you pick. That's in addition to a bunch of other things. So go check it out. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team here at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.